All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Sports Talk with BWatts Entertainment. I'm your host, Bernard Watts. Tonight, I want to thank all of you for been rocking with me ever since I started this platform of Sports Talk with BWatts Entertainment, covering Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. I want to thank all the sponsors that have supported me also, and everybody who's been a part of this journey with me. That's RobDaManMedia, Coach Dre, Steve Wood, and Greg Seddy. I got a couple guests tonight. And I got two more guests at the end of the show. They also have assisted me on this journey. That's Life in Football, Colin Moore, and Phil Dukes for On Three. Uh, Two good brothers of mine that do a fantastic job in this podcast world and covering and doing the content creator of Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffalo. Also, they have a relationship with Coach Prime, and I thought it would be robbery if I couldn't get them on this show as we do the pregame show. It's my first pregame show covering Colorado and Coach Prime. So at this time, I'm gonna clear this off and we gonna get into the show. And I'm getting ready to bring them up. But once again, I thank all of y'all for doing that. But I gotta give a shout out before I bring them up. I just went to bed and woke up. This dude had put me an intro together. I said, man, ain't God good? I've been wanting an intro. I asked him, hey man, what you charge for the intro? And he told me, you don't open that. I'm just playing around. I've been watching your show ever since you been on the air. And I said, what's your name? He said, man, I got the same name as you. My name Bernard too. So it's just my gift to you. I said, okay, I appreciate it. So I'm gonna play it. You're watching Sports Talk with BWatts Entertainment. I'm your host, Bernard Watt.
Wizard.
Hey, shout out to Bernard, chosen video. If you need a video made, intro made, give him a call. Hey, I ain't saying what he gonna charge. He didn't charge me nothing, so he might work with you. He said it took him only 20 minutes and he did it on his iPhone. So I appreciate him for that. But other than that, like I say, I appreciate him. He didn't have to do it, but he did, and I'm glad. Hey, one thing I can say, whenever God bless you, it's your blessing. That's all I can say. But let me bring the guys up and we're gonna get into the show. I'm not gonna hold them long. Let's see, we got Coach Dre, Rob the Man, got him up. And I hate this part here. Got my guys right there. What's going on, fellas? Y'all doing all right? All right, let me bring my guests up. I'm gonna hold them long. Know they busy. I'm gonna keep my word. What's up, Colin?
Chilling, man. Dre, Steve, what's happening? Duke, what good?
What's happening?
Chilling, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got Coach Prime Boys with me tonight. Colin won the life in football and Duke the Scoop. The
Yes, sir.
man of the hour. I can't wait till I get away from Colorado in 15 minutes and talk about this Georgia Tech and Florida State. Dude, I got two guys on this thing with me from
Yeah,
Florida.
man.
And they always talk about them Florida boys better than them Georgia boys. But in 15 more minutes, they got to come with it. How y'all doing, man? Y'all doing okay?
Good.
Yeah, man.
Good,
So,
good, good, good. Okay, man. Look here. Let's talk about coach. First of all, I want to say thank y'all. I know y'all busy, got your own things going. Like I say, I'm gonna keep my word. I won't hold you long. All right. But I just got 5 questions of Colorado I need to get off my chest, and I want to hear y'all input. All right. Here we go. When I look at this game coming up for Colorado and North Dakota State, North Dakota State is known to be a running team.
Right.
Now, Coach Prime has revamped his defensive line and his defensive unit, period. Players, coaching staff, and all. When you look at the coaching staff that Coach Prime has brought in, Robert Leviston, Damian Lewis, Warren Sapp, Andre Hart, he was already with him, Adelius Thomas, got a new guy, George Halo, and I'm missing one, Dance from Mississippi Valley State. All those guys are defensive coaches. Now, my question to you, how important it is for Colorado to stop the run of North Dakota State? I start with you, Colin, and then we'll go with Duke.
Well, that's I can't say that's gonna be the exact game plan, but they're gonna come in wanting to run it. And then you heard Urban Meyer say if he ran that program and that was his team, knowing what he had to face in Shador and Travis and that offense, he said, "Hey, look, I ain't hiking the ball until I got 2 seconds left because I want to make sure I can be in the game when it comes fourth quarter." Now they're gonna have an O line, they're gonna have a D line that big boys up front, and they used to winning. And they bringing back one of the original guys that was at North Dakota State when the winning all started. So he's gonna want to run the ball. They know they can't beat Shador in a throw out. So they gotta hike the ball. Hey, they gotta run that ball to try to win. But I believe that we still got too much for them. Now we don't want to let them linger around in the game because then that's gonna give you confidence where you can take over. But I think we just got too much firepower on offense for them to do anything. And I don't see them having 4 DBs that can just shut our wide receivers down. So Shador gonna be able to get that ball. I don't care what that defense line doing on their team. When Shador say hi and we can get that ball out to either one of them 2 slots as well as the wide outs, they ain't gonna be able to stop that. So that run game that they want to do, if we go down and score the first 2 or 3 drives and they still haven't scored, the game out of hand already. So you're gonna have to pass.
Right.
So they're gonna be betting on this run, but I just don't see the run just overpowering us like that.
Okay. Bill Duke, how important is it?
Yeah, man, I think it's real important for them to be for Colorado to be able to stop the run, basically because like Colin said, they want to take the air out of the ball. They want to be able to deflate the game, to slow the game down, and really to keep that clock. And it does 2 things. One, it slows it down by keeping the clock running, and it decreases the minutes. But also, what it does is it allows for their offense to kind of get in the rhythm. So once you start to have to creep that eighth man in the box, you increase your chances to be able to throw the ball. But if you can stop the run with only 6 in the box, with only 7 in the box, then it's going to be really hard for them to be able to get multiple in their sets because they're going to have to really spread their set out even more and put themselves in obvious pass situations, which allows that coaching staff that you talked about to tell those defensive linemen to pin your ears back and go get the quarterback. So I think when it comes to having a balanced game plan, the run game is at a premium, but I just don't think that they have the horses and able to do that. Now, we talk about how the coaching staff impacts the team. Anytime you run against a team that has less talent but has always performed well, it always boils down to discipline and people moving like synchronized swimmers. When you think about high school football, when you see that wing T offense, it's never about how good those guys are on the other side of the ball. It's about, are you reading your keys and are you being disciplined with your eyes? And that doesn't happen on game day. That happens the week prior to game day. And that's where the coaches come in. Can they have these guys ready to make sure that they're reading their keys and filling the correct gaps? So North Dakota State can't make up the talent differential with disciplined ball play. So I just think I think as long as that coaching staff is doing what they're supposed to do, the talent to shine. I think Colorado will get up early and often.
Good take, Coach Ray.
I mean, they hit everything on the head. I mean, you trying to slow the game down. North Dakota State gonna try to win ugly. They know they can't go toe to toe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that clock running, and I'm gonna try to get first downs. First downs keep the clock running and keep us moving down the field and keep Shador Sanders off the field. So that's what it basically comes down to. But like you say, you got to be disciplined. You got to read your keys, and you got to be focused with what they're trying to do. They're not. Hey, listen, they're not going to change what they do. This is what they do. They come in to run the football, and if you can't stop it, you get what I'm saying. But I feel like with the right defensive schemes, I have faith in Livingston, and I think what you got Sapp and Lewis, I think the defensive line will be ready to go play.
All right, Rob. Is Rob up? I ain't seen him yet. Did he come up?
He'll be about 10-15 minutes late, bro.
Okay. Go ahead, Steve.
2 points. First point, the men on that defensive line got to win those one-on-one wars. When they're in there, if they're penetrating, they win those one-on-one wars, it changes the whole objective of the game. Second point, linebackers. Don't be like Florida State. Keep that motion crap. You shouldn't even be looking at motion. If they motion and let them motion, linebackers stay on that quarterback and them running backs. That's all you need to do. And if they stay focused on those two things, I'm not even getting with our offense because it's on and popping. When they do those two things, they're going to be very successful. They have to be disciplined, like Duke said, and they got to go in there knowing that this ain't no makeup game or anything else. You haven't earned anything. We need to slap them in their mouth, make them like it, and get this game over with because you don't want them to get no confidence. You don't want them to start feeling and all that foolishness that goes on with that. Hit them in the mouth often and early and keep hitting them in the mouth and then hit them again until it gets to the point where they calling in their second string. When they call in their second string, it's on and popping. It's over. So do those things. See you roll. I see you rolling.
Yeah. All right, man. So on the defense side, let's stay right there on that defensive side. I'm start back with Colin. We're gonna go all back around.
Yeah.
Which player or players on that defensive side for Colorado you will be looking closely at on Thursday night?
I'm gonna be watching the linebackers because the linemen's they gonna fight it out, but you gonna need that running back when that thing pop up. Well, when the running back trying to find the hole, that linebacker got to be trying to find the running back. So they got to make the plays because if they don't make the plays, that thing heading up to them the secondary. You don't want that. So I need Bentley to make plays. I need Woods to make plays. I need JB to make plays. Hill Green and anybody else they put out there. Them boys need to be coming down. I'm talking about full steam ahead. And all the film study, you know they got to watch the film. They're going to see all the runs they doing. They know they're going to throw the ball too. But when that thing open up, man, that running back, that linebacker need to be flying through that hole going to meet him before that running back getting headed upfield. So I want to see the linebackers. Of course, I want to see the D-line beating the offensive lineman and getting back there too. But if that doesn't happen the whole game, it's going to be them linebackers and running backs going at it. And I want our linebackers to stop them before they head to the secondary. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really important to make sure that the linebackers, like so running backs, a lot of times in these offenses like this, they know where the daylight is going to be, and they call that a daylight fight. So you got to make sure you got to put that shade up. Soon as they see a little bit of daylight, it's got to close, and that's what's going to be important. And I think that you got the athleticism at linebacker to do that. We always talk about having football players on your team with a mustache, guys who have been through it before, a little bit tougher than the average. And I think they got that, especially. I think I'm really looking at linebackers too. Definitely looking at Nakai Hill Green,
Right.
out of Charlotte, a guy that a lot of people wanted. Texas A&M wanted him bad, Arkansas wanted him bad, and everything I heard about him was that he was and he has the pedigree. Signed originally out of Michigan, out of high school with Michigan, so has the power forward pedigree. Played next to Jamon Dumas Johnson in high school at St. Francis in Maryland. So I just think he has the pedigree that I really want to see. How does he look now? We saw him we didn't see a lot of him at Michigan. We saw a ton of him at Charlotte. Now with the big stage, how does he perform? So that's one player that I'll be looking at.
I mean, that's it. JB, Hill Green. We talking about the linebackers. I think the upfront play. But my biggest thing is gonna be alignment and assignment. If we line up right and know our assignment, we get the job done. It's just real simple. Alignment and assignment. It ain't football. I think people try to make football real hard. It ain't. It's line up, read your keys, do your job. Don't try to be your superhero. Just do your job. So if the lineman getting the penetration, the linebackers getting filling their gaps, there's nowhere for you to run. So a lineman assignment is the key for this week.
For me, this is what I see. We can't let the quarterback get off. Every game I watch, even when I go back to that Florida State Georgia Tech, what lost the game for him was that the quarterback got too many big plays. Even though that receiver was getting off, but those plays that quarterback made where he was running that ball, getting them 7-10 yards, we can't allow that because those plays kill you. And if the quarterback does do that, JB now need to have him crawling to the sideline. You got to hit them. You got to hit them, and I mean you got to pop. And if you don't do that, it's gonna give them momentum. And when you give a team momentum and confidence, it causes problems. Because with that being said, I don't even worry about the running backs. I'm worried about that quarterback. Get that quarterback, get him uncomfortable. And the second thing, when that backup quarterback gets in there, he never throws the ball. You should be concentrating on them running.
That's a good point, fellas. Hey, got a text message yesterday. I was watching the game between Georgia Tech and Florida State. Out the game without. Looked at the text message. It's the same text message number that I usually get it from Colorado. They said, and they've been listening to my show when we've been talking about the linebacker group. The last check they sent me, they never told me their name, they never answered who they was. Said, hey, we see the same thing you see. So this time when they text me, the message said, did you see well off media? So I looked at well, I said, nah, I said, let me go check it out. So I checked it out. I looked at it. I mean, I just saw well off like they always do. So I text back, said, yeah, I said, what I'm supposed to be looking at? Did you see the new senior defensive coach, George Halo? I said, okay. I didn't pay no attention to it. So I went back and I paid some attention to it. I looked at it. He working with the linebacker group, right? All linebackers was there, but two. So I said, I went in the kitchen, got me some water, came back. I watched it again. Colin and Duke and the panel, Steve and Drake. So I looked at it again. I said, what in the world am I supposed to be looking at? They ain't doing that, but doing some stuff. And I'll be dang. They call me Sherlock Holmes. In the background, 50 yards away, I see Coach Hart. I said, Coach Hart is the linebacker coach. Why he ain't up there with the linebacker? But damn, when I jogged that thing back and I spread it out wide, he was up there with the first defensive starting group. And guess who he had with him? Two linebackers. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be the starter. I'm not saying they're going to get majority of the playing time. They had number 25, he had number 25, and number 22. Johnny Chainsaw Chain and Webster. With the first team. Once again, I'm not saying who's going to start. I'm not saying who's going to be the starting linebacker. But that's the interesting sight that I saw. It's just interesting. When Colorado first got Johnny Chainsaw Chain, Colin was on my show for the first time. I said, man, what about this dude named Johnny Chainsaw Chain from Florida State? Colin said, boy, you're a dog. Me and my business. I said, have you seen in the film? Man, I don't see him in person. And BWatts, before the year out, that boy gonna start. And every time a video come out, I'm not saying they're gonna start. When he hit a running back, they immediately go down. Ain't no dragging for no 2 or 3 yards. Once again, like I told the panel during the week, other shows, just because this dude came from an HBCU, don't overlook it. I'm not saying gonna start. I know everybody hyping up Trevor, Woods, and Bentley, but this first game gonna tell you who them real linebackers is. They gonna tell you, cause North Dakota State gonna put that pressure on. They gonna run that football, and if them two linebackers ain't all who y'all saying they are, whoever saying about Woods and Bentley, me personally, I don't want them together. They don't go good together. They didn't go good together last year, and I'm telling you, If they ain't on their P's and Q's this year, they ain't gonna do good this year. I like Johnny Chainsaw Chaney, and I like Hill Green with Webster, Rotate, or JB. That's me on the linebacker room. So when y'all look at this linebacker room, who do y'all like teaming up as a partner? Go ahead, Cody. Matter of fact, Cody, I texted you yesterday, said, hey, did you see what I saw? You said,
Yeah.
I saw the same thing you saw.
Based on how Coach Prime been talking, like, because he basically be telling you in the press conference and every time they talk, he been high on Trevor Woods. I'm talking about calling him Brian Urlacher. When you call somebody Brian Urlacher, he ain't sitting on the bench. And he said, he had told me one day, Colin, you know he like 220, 225. When he said that, and he talking about it like that, he playing. He like that. Trevor Woods can play safety, and got his weight up at linebacker, so I think he locked. Bentley, they recently was talking about them. It feels like Bentley is locked in. Now,
but hold on, Cole. I don't mean to cut you off, but check this out. Also in the presser, Coach Prime said, hey, I brought him in the office. I sat him down. I told him what was up. They seen him, and if you want to make the league, I told them they got to play special team, him and JB.
Yeah. Well, that just better their situation to have a role in the NFL, because you can go to the NFL and you go to a team that got 3-5 linebackers or 2-5 linebackers, then got another one sitting there. So your only way of making it might be special teams. So go ahead and get used to it this season, learning how to block and shake them off and go down the field. So at this moment, it feels like Woods and Bentley. Now, they probably will rotate with other boys, but at this moment, it feel like Bentley and Woods the starters. That's just what it seemed like to me. Your mic off, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. From what, if you read the tea leaves, that's who you think. That's who I would say it would be. It takes 4 linebackers to play. You need 4. You can't, like, the days of I'm a starter and that's that. Them days are over with. You got to be a guy on the level of a Travis Hunter or Shador, or outside of that, you're gonna have to get a breather in today's game. So I just think it's gonna take 4 or 5, and I think it's the most important thing to see when you talk about linebacker or any type of rotation is who in the game in the fourth quarter. Starters is pretty. I love it. Starters look good. Hey man, hey man, I had another analogy I was gonna say, but it's Sunday. I'm gonna leave that alone.
Go ahead and say it, buddy. You're I don't know.
Man. I cut up last time.
You sure did.
I got the betting up today. But now, I think that's what it really tells the tale. Like when you're in the fourth quarter, or in the time where the game is on the line, it could be the third quarter key situation where if they score again, you might be up 2 touchdowns and they got a third and short. That's who you go look at to see the linebackers who in the game. That's at the point where you're gonna say, okay, this is the meat and potatoes, because at the end of the day, you can start out slow and catch up, but once you're behind, it's hard to just make that change and go get caught back up. So I think by where we are now, I think that like you said, I think it's got to be Bentley and Woods. Like, hey, Cole Prime love Woods now. Hey, Cole, you brought something up for real. He loves
it. I know. Yeah, he do.
Yeah. And I think it's because he can run too, man. I think a lot of times we see, no disrespect to anybody, but sometimes we see players of a different nationality at certain positions, and we think that they only know how to play one way. And I don't think that's the case with Woods, man. I think Trevor got the wheels on. So
no, I ain't saying that because of his nationality, bro. Don't throw me out there like that, dog.
No, I'm just saying. Hey, I ain't even heard. I'm just saying. But what I will say, as far as a pair, I like them together because even when you look at Bentley, man, he's more your traditional linebacker, more in that 6 foot range, 230. A traditional thumper, and that's why you got to have different players with different skill sets, because is that my third down guy when I know it's a passing situation, or do I want to go with a little more speed and a little more length? So I think all those I think you're going to see different combinations, but I do think you start out, especially in this game, with Woods and Bentley.
I mean, BWatts, what I told you, man. They gonna roll them two boys out there because they ain't did nothing to lose the job. Now it's game time, and when you get on this field, it's gonna show. So if we see what we saw last year, I don't, then they'll. But until they show us, until we get out here against another team, I think them guys gonna be the guys. Hart told y'all in the press conference that JB and Hill Green are pushing to be playing. But what it comes down to, man, is doing your job. And Trevor Wood's going to do his job and do it to the best of his ability. He's done nothing to lose his job. And when you can think like he thinks and you do everything right, see, like you say, I think we get caught up in the athletic part. But if the athletic part is only 10%. The mental part and the thinking and the watching the film and knowing what they finna run, and I can be out here, I can tell I know what everybody's supposed to be doing. It plays a part when you play in this game. So I mean, I think them two gonna be the starters, but I think we're gonna see a lot of JB, Hill Green, and Webster and Chainsaw, but more of the Bentley and Woods and Chainsaw. I mean, Hill Green and JB. JB's been my surprise pick for the whole fall camp.
This is going to remind me of Coach Prime is going to be remember the Titans. He's gonna put Woods and my man out there. But if they don't produce, you can get ready. He ain't taking time. He can't lose. He can't lose. He understands that. He ain't waiting for you to start producing. If you're not producing while you out there, it's gonna be some short leases and they should be. Because when you got the talent that they have, Hill Green and that thumper with JB, and then they ain't counting old Chainsaw and Webster over there, why would I wait? I'm not going to let that team get comfortable. If that team comes out there and them linebackers miss a couple of assignments initially, I can guarantee you this. I'm gonna like, man, just remember the Titans. He gonna pull them so fast, and we gonna be like, we haven't seen them until the next game, and that's what's gonna happen. Well, I ain't gonna say that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen if they miss their assignments, but it also puts pressure on them to say, hey, you guys are gonna have to make plays. It ain't about who the starter is. Coach Brian care less about that. Who's producing, and that earns you playing time. And JB and Hill Green just smiling because he low coach. Hill Green. And if you think he gonna put that man on that bench, and when he knows that man knows what he's supposed to do and can do it, it ain't happening. So that's what I see.
Honestly, when it comes down to this linebacker play, it don't even matter who starts. It's gonna be situational football. Honestly, these first 2 weeks is you gonna go against running teams. So who the best linebackers out there against these pro set and these teams that want to run the ball? When we get to a team that want to pass the ball, you're going to see a shift in the linebackers then. So we got a combination for pass and run at the linebacker position. It really don't matter who starts. What's going to matter is who finishing the game off, right? And that's what you gotta take it back from. Just because you see Woods and Bentley out there together to start that game off don't mean that they're going to finish the game. Who's playing the best at the right moment in time at the end of the game is what's going to matter.
All right, let's switch this thing to the offensive side, Cole. Start it off. How you think Colorado offense gonna perform coming up this Thursday?
I want to see them run the ball. I know we got the number one quarterback in the country. We got whoever you put out at wide receiver is actually NFL talent. So that's a NFL QB with NFL wideouts. We good there. Let me just say it. And when he get the ball, we can smash that thing 5, 10, 15 long runs. Just I want to see us run it. I know Shador gonna do what he do. Shador should lead the game. We then went from 300 to 500 yards passing, maybe 3 to 4 TDs, somewhere in that ballpark. He gonna do what he do, but I just want to see us run it. If we could run it, who gonna stop us? Like, who gonna stop us? Because you scared of the run, and then you know if he act like he handed off and then hit the tight end or hitting them slots or hit the wide receivers, it's a route. So I just want to see us running. I want to sit back and say, "Oh, we running." I want to be able to come right on at halftime, like, boy, we out there running that thing. That's what I want to see. Because I know everything else. We seen Shador throw it across the yard. We seen him throw the ball all last year, and they sacked him 52 times. So we know he's gonna do it. We know he's determined to do that. So if we can run the ball and have a running back clear 100 yards game one, I'm talking about one or a total of, I say one running back get 100 and somebody else get 50, somebody else get 75, something like that. I would love to see that. So my thing is the running game. Can we really go out here and run it? We got plenty of running backs. Charlie O could run it. DH could run it. Isaiah could run it. Michael could run it. Hood could run it. So we got the running backs. It's just, will that O-line allow us to really tote that thing? If they do, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Hey, Colin, you ready to call Bob, ain't you?
Yeah, you already know they know. If Colorado starts winning the ball, starts winning, just go ahead and say that Deion Sanders possibly is going to take the job at Arkansas or Florida. That's what you mean. There's no way we allow him to win and go like 6, 7 wins in a row and let him celebrate. We're going to ship him out. If he's losing, talk trash. If he's winning, ship him out. Either way. Just either way. They're not going to let Coach Prime just win. I told him that's Coach. You know they're going to be saying you going to Florida. And he told me his thoughts of what they're going to be saying. But, yeah, I think they're going to be trying. If we go to rolling and we 6-0, 7-8-0, they're going to be looking at jobs. Is Florida open? Is Arkansas open? Where would he go? Will the Cowboys fire their coach and hire him? They're going to be looking at him. They ain't just going to let Coach Prime just roll like that.
Wow. Way to get it out of him, Rod. Way to get it out of him. Go ahead, Phil. Offensive side of the ball. What we expect to see?
This is
You might, Dre.
Yeah, I'm ready to see the offensive line, which plays into the running game. I'm really interested, really to see how that running back rotation looks. And I think something that Colorado didn't really do a great job of last year was salting games away when they were up by just turning around and handing it off. They basically like incomplete passes, stop the clock. So when you got a substantial lead, you need to be able to turn around and just lean on somebody. And how do you do that? You start with the offensive line. I want to see Jordan Seaton. I want to see the 5-star. This is what I've been waiting on to see if they can really protect Shedeur. Is it going to be another 52 sacks this year? That's the issue. I think if last year, if you decrease those sacks, you got to think sacks are such a debilitating part of the game when they basically usually they subtract 8 yards in the loss of a down. They worse than the penalty. So when you have those type of things going on 52 times, you don't play number 12 games. Good God. Yeah. So at the end of the that's a lot, man. We just talking law of numbers. If you can get that down into the 35 range, that's a win. So I think, I'm most interested to see the offensive line and how they perform. And fellas, man, I'm gonna slide out and I'll be back probably. I know by the time I get back, we'll probably be talking about Florida State, Georgia, Texas. I can't wait.
Yeah, all right, bro. All right. Go ahead, Coach Drake.
I mean, you come to see the balance. You come to see the balance. You come to see us run the ball, like you say. You want to see the offensive line, and that's what I come to see. I come to see us dominate up front. I want to see us run the ball. I want to see us protect too. I want to see the rotation of guys in that line room. And like you say, you want to see Seaton. You want to see him in his first college game. You want him to get his feet wet. I want to see how Michael performs under the big lights. We know what he can do, how we feel he can do. So I want to see the run game and see the guys that we bring in produce. And once we get to see that, I think we'll be good. But I really want to see that offensive line. And Tyler Brown dominate. That's what I really want to see.
Go ahead, Steve.
Okay. Run it.
No, I'm gonna introduce RK. He just popped on. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, running is a mindset. I was at the Air Force Academy for 3 years, and when they had D-Downs now, and they played against much bigger teams, but they ran that football. And they ran that football because it was a mindset. It was repetition. It was, we are determined to run this football. So when you got, and these boys, they number 250, 260 pounds up there pounding. They get up, some of them up there to 280, but they ran that football. They would lead the football and rushing. So my point is this here. It's a mindset. And if you want to protect two, and two is your commodity, two is your asset. If you want to protect two, run the football. Not only run the football, dominate running the football. Keep that mindset, because the more you run that football, the more two don't get touched. The more you run that football, you do play action. And then what was that? Skip, skip. Jimmy Horn over the top. That's who I see killing. Jimmy Horn over the top. Skip, skip. Wester over here. But what you don't want to do is go out there and get a freshman in his first game, and he did it 2 times now. That spring game, and then they did it that game on Friday, where that freshman's over there, and them boys on them ends are coming. Get him comfortable, put a tight end over there, or run the first 3 plays. And I'll tell you this here: if we can't get a first down on the first 3 plays of the game running it, we got a problem, Houston.
Go ahead.
When I look
Go ahead,
at
Rob.
this offense, man, I just want to see us put everything together. Click on all phases, right? Whether it's running the ball, passing the ball, just stack up series, right? Get them 12 to 15 play drives going. A lot of things that we didn't see last year. Just continue to put drives together, pounding ground, be consistent all day long. And as over time we wear the defense out, we just gonna keep scoring points and letting the defense fly around. Get up on them and let the defense fly around. That's what I like to see out of the offense.
Go ahead, Greg. Why introduce our RK?
Yeah, I say, I mean, like these guys say, I think the biggest thing is just to create mass confusion. And that's going to have to bring that run game in, where they just got to, at some point early, they got to realize I can't stop them at nothing they do. So I can't stop you running the ball. I can't stop you throwing the ball, and just take away all hope. Your hope to be able to win is to stop something. And Colorado need to let them know we can beat you however we want to beat you. And that's what it's going to take.
Hey, all right. We got one half for DNVR. Uh, RK on the panel. Appreciate him for joining the show tonight. Like I said, I won't hold everybody long. I got roughly about 20 more minutes of the show, and we're going to end. But before we do that, I want to hear your take on Colorado and North Dakota State. RK.
Hey, well, thanks for having me, man. Thanks. This is a hell of a panel you've assembled here tonight. So it's
Yeah,
it's
your
an honor
partner just
to be on.
Jake just emailed me and said, "Man, I forgot it, man. Y'all 2 hours ahead of me."
Jeez, yeah, classic Jake. Anyways, man, I'm just so excited for this game. You know, obviously North Dakota State is an opponent that should be respected, and they've done a lot in college football to earn that respect. But this Colorado team should be able to handle them, should be able to outclass them from a talent perspective. You know, if you're looking at an NFL game on a Sunday and you're trying to pick who's going to win, one of the first things you're going to do is look at who the quarterbacks are. And, you know, if it's Russell Wilson versus Dak Prescott, like, you're looking at Dak and you're saying, okay, he should have the advantage here. The advantage in this game between the quarterbacks, with all due respect to North Dakota State, is so wide that when you look at a 9.5 point spread, it's a little bit shocking to me. It feels like it should be larger than that.
Right.
You know, obviously Travis Hunter on the field there's such a large gap between him and any other athlete that North Dakota State could bring to the table. So when you put those things together, you know, I think North Dakota State is going to present some challenges. They have some exotic runs that they like to do. It's going to be a lot of discipline needed from the linebackers to, you know, not get caught up in that stuff. But when push comes to shove, you know, Shedeur should be able to have his way with that defense. And I think when by the end of it, you know, that offense kind of goes off.
Good take, bro. Good take. What's up? What's up, Jay?
What's up, y'all? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We be loud and clear, man. Thanks for joining the show, man. Like I said, we got right back 20 more minutes, and we're gonna let you go and give us your take on this upcoming game with North Dakota State and Colorado.
I mean, shoot. I mean, it's unknowns for both sides, I think. But obviously, Colorado's going to come in, you know, with more talent, more athleticism, more ability. I think it's just, you know, a lot of the narrative right now, I think, is Colorado not beating themselves. And that's what happened a lot last year in those close games. You know, penalties, offensive line, of course, finishing plays, tackling. That was a big thing. So that's really what I'm looking for to be the most improved in week 1, in this upcoming week. And then the impact of the transfers, the new transfers, especially in the trenches. We need those guys to make plays. We need them to make sacks, TFLs, create pressure, force the quarterback into turnover situations. So that's where we're at right now.
Okay, appreciate your take on that. All right, Cole, I'm finna go around the circle one more time. Check this out.
Mm-hmm.
What did you see last year from Colorado that you definitely don't want to see this year?
I think what caught me off guard the most when we was at the TCU game, that game was like it was thrilling. It was back and forth. But when we came to the Nebraska game, it didn't feel like this. I didn't have the same feeling. It felt like I was sitting there watching, and it was like the DNs was just teeing off on Shador. I'm talking about they were crashing down on just like we couldn't get nothing going. I was like, how could we play TCU and ball how we was balling? It took us to about the second quarter to finally get on the scoreboard in Nebraska. And I ain't like that. The feeling didn't feel the same. I was like, this don't feel good. So I don't want to feel that at all this year. I want to feel like when Shador want to throw, we throw. When we want to run it, we run it. We get that. I know we're going to win a lot of games because last year, everybody be talking about it, but we was in a lot of those games that we didn't win, and it was 2 or 3 we could have won right there on the spot. So that was a bold team last year with Coach Prime just getting there and putting the whole squad together. Basically, the whole team got together around the summer. Now he got a year and 8 months with the squad, a year and 8 months with this squad, a year and 8 months. Well, not a year and 8 months, but a year and 8 months total being there. We got something now. So I want to see us run it when we want to run it, throw it when we want to throw it. And then I'll sit back and say, hey, we pretty good. Because the defense, y'all know they're going to do what they do. We got too many ends. We got enough D tackles and enough ends to, like Coach Prime said, we don't got to do the exotic blitzes, the exotic stunts. We got enough to get the job done point blank period. So I just want to see us on offense not get shut out, not the 3 and out. Touchdown here, 3 and out. I want to see us drive, score. Because at one point, I don't know if everybody was watching this, but I was looking like every time we scored first, we won. Every time we didn't, we lost. But that was at the initial beginning. I don't know if everybody was looking at it like that, but it used to have me nervous. Like, come on now, go drive down there, go. Woo, we scored. So it felt like we was gonna win, but sometimes when we didn't, they just took the air out of the bag. So that's all I'm looking at this year. Can we drive and go forward? Can we score the majority of our drives? Say we get 15 drives. Can we score a good amount out of those drives? If we do, we're gonna win a lot.
Well, okay.
First of all, Jake, are you coming to us from like inside of a black hole?
It looked good. Well, you got a good picture, man.
I turned the black background. There's like a bed frame behind me and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Hey, I know you told me. You said, "Man, I'm in the process of moving this week. I'm gonna try to help you out, BWatts." Hey, man. Hey, you're a true soldier. I don't care what RK say. You moving? See, RK told me, "Hey, man, I'm gonna be in the airplane. I'm gonna be flying on that night." But he still showed up, and I appreciate both of y'all for doing that. And Colin also. Go ahead, Cole. What you say?
Jake, I thought you was outside or something.
No.
I thought you was outside.
He moving, man.
I thought you was literally outside. I said,
it looked good. Hey, you need to keep that, man. I don't know what it is in the background, but it looked good on you. Go ahead, RK.
Hey, I think there's a lot of football answers you could go to here talking about sacks or things like that. But one thing that I really, really do not want to see takes me back to the CSU game. And Travis Hunter takes a cheap shot on the sidelines, and there's 10 other players on the field.
Right.
And one runs over there, and that's Shador. And that's the last guy. Like I love Shador for doing that, but your quarterback is should be the last one to the pile up if something goes down. there should be 9 guys that are there for Travis Hunter before Shedeur Sanders, and there was 0. And so this year, no matter what it is, there was another clip that came out this week of Shedeur going back and forth in the end zone. He gets headbutted. I don't even think anyone saw it. And so, Coach Prime has put such an emphasis on these guys coming together in this team bonding and the chemistry and all that stuff. And I think there's a lot of stuff that you won't see on the field that pays off from building that level of chemistry. But one of the things that I think you will see is that when something goes down out there, when someone takes issue with something that another team is doing, you should see all 11 guys, banding together to go stand up for their guy. The more that I think about that going down last year and that moment with Travis Hunter, it really bothers me. And so I don't want to see anything like that again.
Go ahead, Rob.
I'll say this: what I don't want to see is just the penalties and missed assignments. That's the key for me. Limit the penalties, eliminate a lot of the missed assignments and sub packaging on defense. We'll be fine. Everything goes. I mean, what happened in the past last season is over with. Majority of that team is gone. New bodies in, so I don't even think about last year no more. Let's move forward, baby.
Go ahead, Steve.
Clean football. What I don't want to see is people on that sideline pointing fingers or not, are not focused on the game. The game is the most important thing you have. The penalties, no 12 men on the field. Do not want to see that at all. Don't even want to come close to it. And missing assignments. I just don't want to see people looking at each other. Everybody doing this here. It's no need for that. If the assignment missed, it's missed. Let's get to the next play. Let's make the corrections. Let's keep it going. I want to see togetherness. I want to see cohesiveness. I don't want to see a team. And this is what I really don't want to see. Even if we get a loss, what I don't want to see is people with their head down. That's the worst thing you can have as a team. Don't be all that jumping around and hyped up when you're winning. It shows me your character when you're losing. When you're losing, let's put that pail bucket down. Let's come together. Let's make it happen. So those are the things I look for. And I do not expect to see it this year. All I want to see is rolling. I want to see signs that say 911. We got an emergency. This defense is a problem. We need help.
Go ahead, Coach Dre.
I mean, Uncle Steve hit it on the head. I just want to see consistency. I just want to see consistency on both sides of the ball. The way Coach Prime has upgraded his staff, he upgraded his players. I just want to see consistency. Again, I've seen this show before. So we riding just like we supposed to ride. We believe in what he doing, but we just got to be consistent. And I mean, them boys got to be consistent in everything. I'm just not talking about on the field. I'm talking about the meetings. I don't want to get to a game day and somebody late to a meeting, and that's why you ain't starting. You bring your phone in a meeting and you ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So I just want to see consistency. Consistency will win you football games. Consistency will win you football games.
All right, Greg.
I think we said it earlier. I think the biggest thing is just they're going to have to start fast. You playing somebody at home, his first game, they come to you. You got to pretty much put them in their place and let them know that they don't belong on the field with you. And like we seen with Colorado State last year, the longer you let people hang around with you, especially a team like that, they may start to feel like they could possibly play with you. And you need to kill that immediately. And what we say, fast and bad, that's the way you got to go.
All right, Jake.
I mean, I think a lot of you guys nailed it with, the penalties and discipline and all that stuff. And I'm probably in the same side on both sides of the ball. Defensively, I don't want to see the missed tackles that we saw last year. I want to see, reliable tackling, not, having guys, break free for an extra 5-10 yards, pick up a new set of downs. And kind of with that on the offensive side of the ball, I don't want to see the disjointedness that we saw on offense last year. Complementary football, really all around. I think there's only one game last year where the Buffs truly controlled the game, and that was Nebraska. And kind of like Colin said, though, they got off to a slow start in that game. So, I just want to see them in control of the game, complementary football, running the football, lack of penalties, tackling well, and then I think that'll result in a pretty big win.
All right. Appreciate y'all take on that. Rob, go ahead and ask a question while I get my what you got together.
So this one's gonna go to RK and Jake. When you guys look at this upcoming season, which side will you guys really be keen on? Will it be the offensive side or the defensive side going into the season?
Go ahead, Jake.
Oh man, I think it's still got to be the offense. Defensively, I think I trust the overall talent increase that they brought in and the coaching that they brought in. I think what Coach Livingston's going to do is put them in pretty basic situations to just let his athletes be athletes and let instincts take over. But offensively, I think there's just so much more. I mean, they got to sustain drives this year. I love the guy, but I don't want to see Mate on the field too often. I want to see him being able to run the ball, pick up third downs, continue to just move the chains and result in, consistent scoring drives. I think that disjointedness is something, obviously, that really derailed last year. So I just want to see if I had to pick a side of the ball, offense for sure.
I'll take the other side, even though I generally am more of an offensively minded guy. But I'll say this defense, I think, has a chance to be the difference maker for Colorado. We know what Shedeur is going to be able to do on offense. We know that, you put the ball in his hands late in the game, we're going to feel really comfortable with it. But I just think back to those Jackson State teams when Coach Prime had it going the way that he really wants it. And that is a dominant defense, a dominant running game. And then, Shedeur's job is easy. He just goes out there and everything's wide open for him. And, he's going to see it and he's going to pick it apart. So I'm interested to see this defense, and I have really high hopes for what it could be. And if this defense can go out there and make life really difficult for other teams, the Buffs are going to win a hell of a lot of games.
Go ahead, Coach Jay.
I mean, for me, it's gonna always be the defense. I think you win championships with defense. We got to show we can stop somebody. I think Jake said it. We want to see sure tackling. We want to see 11 men flying to the football. If you listen to Ed Reed, he said that's how they won. They won because they got 11 men to the football. Everybody trying to get to the football. On the offensive side of the ball, again, I guess I just be talking sometimes when I tell people, Coach Prime had a 1,000-yard rush at Jackson State. It was easy because he could run the ball. And now I can play action. And now Shedeur doesn't have to throw the ball. He doesn't want to throw the ball all over the field. He wants to be able to run the ball. And he showed you that's what he wants to do. But as long as that defense goes out there and we can stop the run, I think we got the best secondary around. So long as we can stop the ball and we can get 11 men to the football, I'm going to be looking at the defense. And you got to remember, a lot of eyes going to be on Coach Livingston, his first time being a defensive coordinator. But I like the way he's came in, and he's playing to these young men's strength. And you don't see a lot of coaches do that. A lot of coaches are already proven they have their system. Coach Livingston has came in and built his system around his kids, and you got to be very excited to see that.
Go ahead, Greg.
I agree with everybody. I mean, I think the defense is going to be the biggest thing. It's going to be able to take a lot of pressure off of Shedeur, but it's going to put a lot of pressure on the other team to have to outscore Shedeur, but you don't really get the opportunities. I think last year, when you look at TCU and the teams that were really the first few games, Colorado was one, Arizona was one. They were able to kind of go toe-to-toe with Shedeur, and he's just going to overpower you. But imagine with a defense that doesn't allow you to. That could be defeating. And I think that the defense somewhat did better at the end of the last season, but at the same time, the offense kind of went down. So the offense definitely needs to maintain. But if we have a dominant defense, then it's going to be disheartening for anybody that really want to go against them.
Go ahead, Mr. Steve.
I'm gonna go with defense, and I'm gonna give you an example. Georgia Tech, Florida State. That number 8 or number 9 for Georgia Tech, that boy havoc. That was one end, and he was a sophomore or something like that. Havoc. He ran havoc in that game. Now imagine this. You got 6. You got 6. That was just one. That was just one guy. It's 6 for CU. If you got these six horses, I expect to put my thing up saying 911, and people don't understand that 911. We got an emergency, people, and some people out there like, y'all don't understand the significance of having a defense. I'm a New England Patriots fan, and the only team beat us was those New York Giants that took that undefeated season, and it was because the pressure they put with those 4 people. The pressure that's gonna come after this here. All we need to do with that pressure, and this is something else I'm going to add to it. This defense is going to score. This is going to be a scoring defense. It's going to remind you of the Raiders. Not only are they going to stop teams and put that quarterback on his back, they are going to score. You heard it first.
So here's my next question. What so you're going to pick a player from each defensive position. So D-line, linebackers, DBs, who is your player to watch at each level?
Say that again, Rob.
Can you hear me?
Nah.
So you're going to pick a player from each level, defensive line, linebacker, DB. What player are you most looking forward to seeing from each level of the defense?
On defensive line, I'm going to be looking at Shadozi. I want to see, can he take on the other team and free up that A gap and that B gap for a linebacker. If he can do that, we're going to be out. Defensive linebacker, who I'm going to be looking at? I'm going to be looking at the linebacker coach. What 2 linebackers will they put out there who will be able to stop the run? And my 2, I'm going to keep saying till the cows come home. Johnny Chainsaw Chaney and Kyle Hill Green. Them the 2 linebackers that I want to see out there majority of the time. And what was your last question was?
DB. So
DB?
each level. Yep. Defensive line, linebackers, DBs.
Okay, DBs. Hey, I'm looking at Colton Hood. Can he bring that man-to-man coverage that like I think he can? Be a shutdown corner, even though DJ McKinnon's out there and Travis out there. But if he can rise up to expectation, because when he was at Auburn, he was the number 3. If he had stayed there, he would have been their number 1. If he can bring that same physicality and that man-to-man pressure, I think that Colorado secondary is going to be locked down. And at the safety position, I like Stoudemire, man. Something that keep telling me, boy, the way he playing, man, and been practicing, and he ain't injured. I'm looking for him to make a big leap.
Go ahead, RK.
All right. On the front, I'm going to say Sam Okunlola, Sammy Sachs. I think that he is going to wreak havoc on offenses this year. He was really impressive last year, and we talked about this when we had T-Cal on our show, but it was like there's a reason they're not showing his reps in one-on-ones because they don't want anyone seeing the bag of moves that he has that he's going to be able to unleash out there on the field. In the linebacking group, I'm excited to see Trevor Woods, man. They have been singing his praises since day one of camp. I mean, literally since day one of camp when he had 2 interceptions. Everyone that's been out there has been so high on what he's been able to do. He gained a ton of weight throughout the offseason, and he's just a football player. That's just what he does. Finally, in the secondary, I think I'll start with Shiloh. I think that this defense and what Coach Livingston does is really going to allow Shiloh to just go out there and be Shiloh and, use his football IQ, which we obviously know runs in the Sanders family, and his instincts to just go out there and make plays, whether that's big hits or cause of turnovers. I think you're going to see Shiloh go take his game up to another level this year.
For me, defensive line, I'd have to go Tajay McCoy. He's someone who's really come on late in camp, and we talk about this on our show all the time, or Arcade does at least. Like that guy pops, that's free money for you. He came in as a 3-star recruit. You didn't have to go recruit him over this last offseason. He was already in the building. If he's able to take that next step and join that rotation, that is massive. He was all over the place on that Friday scrimmage we went to a week ago. So I really think that he's someone they're kind of keeping on the down low as well, kind of like Sammy Sachs. And then on the second level, I'd go with JB. I think this is a big year for him. He's finally got to come out and prove it at this level. He's been moved around. A lot of this stuff wasn't his fault. And we know the athlete he is, but we need to see the production from him. And I think he's had a great camp as well. So he could be someone that surprises. In the secondary, I'd probably say DJ. I think obviously we know what Travis is, and Preston, I think, is pretty proven as well. But if, DJ or Colton Hood, whoever it is, really solidifies that third corner spot and makes them more versatile, they're just going to be that much more difficult to beat. I think we know what we have at safety in Cam and Shiloh. So if DJ comes on really strong and, is able to play up to that level of Preston and Travis, this is going to be easily one of the best top 3 cornerback rotations in the country.
For me, fellas, on the defensive line, I'm going to go with McNeil. He's the kid coming back. He was, to me, probably our best defensive lineman that we had last year that with production. He's quick off the ball. He's having, to me, a decent camp. They haven't shown him a lot, so that makes me think he's having a better camp than what we think. In the linebacker room, I'm like my buddy. JB is my guy. All spring, all fall, every time you turn on the film, 42 was making a play. He's moving around, and I think he's getting to play like he played at Jackson. And I think people forget that he started as a true freshman at Jackson for the number 1 defense. And right now I think he's feeling free. He's feeling better than he did last year, and I expect – so I'm looking for big things from him. And in the secondary, it's Cotton Hood for me. The kid comes – he has the pedigree. And he takes on the best of the best every day. With him being on the second team and the way Coach Prime practices, he gets to go against the ones. And he goes over there, he guards Will, he guards Travis, and that's what you want to see from a corner. You want to see a guy that wants to come out here and guard the best, and he doesn't shy away from it. So that would be my 3.
All right, Greg.
Yeah, I think I agree with that as well. I said from the beginning, before we really knew a lot, I think that it's probably split. I think that McNeil is definitely a guy who can sneak up on people. But we have a newcomer that's probably sneakier than him that we look at it, and that's Buell on that defensive line, who I think he's going to be very disruptive as far as anything, just blowing up the middle of the field. And he come from a smaller program, and he's probably not the biggest guy. So I think he can make a lot of noise there on the D-line. And I think that one of the guys that we look over at the second level is Wester. And being that Wester was really the top linebacker out of the portal. And he's younger, a little younger than some of these guys, but he's smaller. And it seems like a lot of times people are looking over him, but he wasn't number 1 for no reason at all. So I think him at the second level and definitely Colton Hood at that secondary. A lot of people don't get to know who he is. And he redshirted last year. He's shown a lot in the camp, and as far as in the fall camp, and he has more skills than I believe has been shown as far as his ability to cover, his physicality. I know he did an interview. I think he had 12, 13, 14 interceptions his junior year in high school. Mm-hmm. So he is a ball hawk. That's the thing we haven't really recognized outside of Travis, is a ball hawk in the secondary, and Colton Hood has that as well. So those are my 3.
I'm going to go with BJ Green. It's going to start and end with BJ Green. BJ Green is going to cause so much havoc on that end. We're going to get a lot of offsides and everything else, and he's going to put pressure on a lot of other our linemen to perform at a high level. Then I'm going to go to Hill Green. Hill Green going to have 80 to 100 tackles. I'm thinking he's going to have 120 tackles before the season's over with because of what he brings to the game. And then I'm going to go to DB, baby. We're going to take Preston Hodge, Mr. Glue himself. Preston Hodge is going to do his thing. I see because of Travis over there on the other end and the effect of Travis and that pass rush, Hodge is going to be smiling. He can write his own check because the more that pass rush comes through and they don't want to go to Travis' side, the money coming to him. So he's going to get plenty of opportunities to do his thing. Those are my three.
All right, appreciate it, Rod. Let me get on so we can get on. I gotta get them off here. I got one more question, but I see you then we're gonna transition. All right, check this out. If you were sitting in the as a player, RK and Jake, as a player, and you listen at the speech that Ray Lewis gave and Ed Reed gave, which one of those speeches would you be up for and be ready to play?
It's funny you asked because we had this discussion on our show the other day, and everyone was mad at us for making people choose. I was trying to get Neely to choose, and he wouldn't choose. So let me just start by saying both speeches were absolutely incredible, and I watched both of them start to finish like I was in the room, and like somehow that was going to help me on the football field or something. But man, Ray Lewis's speech moved me more. The way, I mean, just his delivery and the way that the passion that he speaks with was just like straight to the heart for me. So it's such a hard choice between the two of them. But yeah, I was ready to run through a wall after Ray Lewis got done talking.
Yeah, I mean, same. Both were amazing, and it's so cool that those two guys were able to talk to the football team. That's only Colorado things right there. But I got to go with Ed Reed when he was talking about football's like war and stuff, man. Like that's how I look at it and all that, and that just fires me up because it's facts. It's a dangerous game. You got to be a little different to play that game at that level, and you got to also realize the opportunity that you have playing the game at that level. So I just loved what he said about that. I loved, also in that same video, Coach Prime and Ed Reed and them talking about tendencies too. Just watching how the guys across from you are lining up, all about film study and all that. That was right down my alley.
And let me just add one thing there. It just shows the level of respect people have for Coach Prime that, Ed Reed, Coach asked him to hop on a Zoom and he says, no, I'm hopping on a plane. I'll be there.
Right.
It's just, there's a lot of people in this world who have come across Coach Prime in one way or another who would do just about anything for him. And I think that says a lot about the type of person that Coach is.
Coach Dre?
I mean, when you talk about two of the greatest, and I think RK hit it on the head, them the kind of men you want in your room. I don't want to, hey, bro, you ain't got to worry about me talking to them through no screen. I'm going to talk to them in person. I'll hop on the plane. But when you listen to Ed Reed, for me, it's Ray Lewis just because Ray always moves me when he talks. I think he's one of the greatest human beings to ever live, but he's been through a storm. It's not a lot of people that can say they've been through that type of storm, and to come out on the other end and to tell these young men about life and not just about football. And that's my biggest thing with Prime and what he pushes is that, yes, football is the game that we chose to play and what we want to do, but life is what we all have to try to succeed in and be great. And so for me, it's Ray, because Ray, he brings it every time. He never disappoints. I love Ed Reed, and I know what Ed Reed brings to the table. But for me, it's Ray Lewis.
Go ahead, Rob, then Steven, then Greg.
Oh man, it's Ray Lewis for me, man. It just put chills in your body. Just listen to Ray speak. If you wasn't woke and you wasn't taking notes when Ray was speaking, you missed a lot of juice that came out of that message. When you talk about him coming in as a nobody and making a name at the University of Miami, and then going to the NFL and elevating to another level. It just resonates and it just hits home with you. It's not to say Ed Reed message didn't resonate, but Ray Lewis, he just bring that chill to make you want to go through that brick wall and let's go to practice right now. The heck with the rest of the day. Let's get right now. Let's go. So Ray Lewis for me.
When you watch Harlem Nights, it ain't number one answer. It should. Sugar Ray, without a doubt. He did his thing, and when he does his thing like that, ain't nothing you can do but just sit back and enjoy the show. He touches people. He touches it because it comes from his heart. And when something comes from your heart and it's pure like that, hey, it is what it is. But I love me some Ed Reed, though. Ed Reed give you that knowledge, too. So they were awesome, but Suge got it.
Yeah, I definitely got to go with Ray Lewis. I mean, he's probably the closest to Coach Prime. When you look at it, they got a little preacher in them. So, they pretty much have that passion and the showmanship and the emotion and all of that, just the presentation all laid out. And, that's why I go with Ray Lewis.
All right, fellas. I appreciate y'all talking to me about Colorado. I'm going to switch this thing. Got little five question, then we're going to get out of here, all right? But first, Colin ran, but Coach Dre still here. They always told me, Jake, RK, Florida players are way better than Georgia players. I'm from Georgia. He from Florida. Me and Greg from Georgia. Now, yesterday, I watched Georgia Tech went by 8 hours flight to go out there and whoop up on Florida State. So y'all tell me what happened to Florida State. Start with you, RK, and we'll go all the way around. What happened? What happened to Florida State when they played
Man,
Georgia Tech yesterday?
can you guys still hear me? My
Yeah,
headphones died.
I hear you.
All right, cool. I honestly, I mean, there's a few things that happened. One, I think they got punched in the mouth a little bit and they weren't expecting it. I think that they didn't. I don't know if DJU is exactly who they thought he was, and I think that there's something to be said. And obviously, both teams had to make the trip, but there's something to be said for being a heavy favorite, going all that way, and then when adversity strikes, I feel like they kind of got tired. The all of a sudden that jet lag and all of that starts to set in. Whereas on Georgia Tech's side, it's like as the game got on, you were gaining energy from the fact that you had a chance to go pull off that big upset. So I think there's a lot that goes into it, but that's what stuck out to me.
Jake?
Yeah, I mean, Arcade's spot on. They got punched in the mouth. I think Georgia Tech, was pretty physical with them and maybe caught them a bit off guard in that regard. But it's the difference in the quarterback situation to me. Haynes King, you look at his passing stats yesterday, and they're honestly not very impressive either. They're pretty similar to what DJU did. But what Haynes was able to do with his legs in that run game was the biggest difference for Georgia Tech's offense. And that's how they picked up, those big gains, kept the chains moving. And we're able to hang in there and eventually win the game. And that was the difference, was Haynes King and what he was able to do with his legs.
The man of the hour, Coach Dre.
I mean, they throw the party in Gainesville. They was happy as all outdoors that Florida State lost. But it just comes down to DJ is not what they thought he was. And that's no knock on him. I mean, he was a 5-star coming out of high school. Went to Clemson, and I saw him at Clemson, and I was just like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And then, like they said, they got hit in the mouth. And when you let a team like Georgia Tech believe they can play, and once some boys realize, these boys ain't what we thought they or what people said they was.
Yeah.
Now Florida State had to play themselves up. Now they had to get themselves back up, but by that time Georgia Tech had already got the confidence they needed. Like you say, the quarterback play was the difference. Georgia Tech quarterback made more plays than the FSU quarterback. I mean, FSU got to go back to the drawing board. They got to go back to the drawing board and figure some stuff out. Because if they don't, it's going to be – and then FAMU goes out there and win. It's real hard in Tallahassee right now. It's real hot in Tallahassee right now.
I'm gonna say this: Georgia Tech defensive coordinator deserve a raise. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there right now. When you look at after that first drive, that run, he said, "The heck with this. We're going single high safety. Show us that you can beat us, DJ. Show us that you can throw the ball and get it over the top." He started
Right.
throwing that thing out to the bleachers. Every time it was a time to make a throw past 20 yards, out of bounds to the bleachers. But when it was 5 yards or less, he was making plays. Anything over that is a hit and miss. So they just came in ready to go, ready to fight. You know, played all the way through the entire game. Florida State came in there thinking that Georgia Tech was going to lay down, and they just came to play. So it just comes to tell you, if you don't come to play and you don't bring your lunch pail for the entire game, you can get beat. This is college football, and that's the great thing about college football is anybody can win if you don't come and bring your lunch pail.
Right, Steve.
What I saw, Jake hit it, home run. That quarterback made plays with his legs. And when that quarterback made plays with his legs, and that's because those linebackers was looking at that motion. They were so worried about motion, and that quarterback was just easing straight up the middle. And those, when you get first downs like that, it kills you. And then the next thing you had right there was this one here. You had those light running back from Georgia Tech, very light, and he was very effective. And when you looked at Florida State receivers killed them. They were no playmakers. I didn't see no space. I didn't see no. They didn't make plays. You know, you had they made a couple plays. You know, I ain't gonna say they didn't make none, but they made a few. But when you got the talent like last year's Florida State receivers, them boys, you had space, and then they went up and made plays. I didn't see it yesterday. I saw Georgia Tech receivers look better than Florida State, and that should never happen. You know, they ain't got Megatron. That should never happen. So when I saw those things, and the worst thing I will say for Florida State is what's going to hurt them if they don't turn this around, they got embarrassed by Georgia. Then you turn around and those come up this year and lose a game like you lost this year, look like your players put their head down on that game. You can't have too many more of those because once those fans start seeing that, it's going to get ugly.
Greg?
Yeah, I think you hit on the head. Also, Jake, and like I said, Jake and Steven, they kind of pointed out something I saw immediately when you all brought up the question. That's the quarterback. Yeah, he ran the ball, but he just moved the ball a lot better than Florida State. Florida State, I don't know what happened with the quarterback. He didn't make any plays as far as I saw, and it kind of like bring it full circle back to CU. Like you just said, I didn't really see no big play. Receivers, the quarterback, and that shows a lot. And I think sometimes when we bring up information about why we think CU will win, they will say, "Oh, everybody has talent like that. Everybody has 5 stars." It's a clear difference. It's like I think we have overkill in weapons because you really didn't see anything stand out. It just looked very subpar. Quarterback looked very subpar. And for us to have so many weapons, that's what I caught. Like, yeah, people talk like everybody had these weapons. It's clear. Not even Georgia Tech. I think they had one real guy, Singleton, and he's a young guy. He just got there like last year. But
Right.
it's not like that. I know you mentioned the D-line as well. It's just not like that where you just have that many people on one team like that.
Good point, Greg. Good point. All right, guys. I got 5 questions. We're going to get out of here. All right. We got college football coming up. Now, I'm going to throw out some games that coming up. You just tell me who you think going to win or lose. Clemson versus UGA. Starting with URK. Who going to win that game?
Georgia by a lot.
Ooh, by a lot. By a lot. Go ahead. Okay. It's all you, Jake.
Is Georgia, man. It's Georgia. They're deeper across the board. That defense is going to be better this year, too.
Coach Dre.
I got the Dogs by 14.
14.
Georgia.
Rob.
Georgia.
Georgia.
It better be Georgia.
It better be Georgia. I don't know where this thing going, but I don't know. I don't know. All right, we got Penn State and West Virginia. Who y'all think gonna win though? Chat, y'all can follow on too.
Penn State.
Look, man, So Penn State's an 8.5-point favorite. This is in West Virginia, though. This is an old rivalry that's kind of been paused and off and on. It's back on this year. I don't believe in Drew Allar at quarterback for Penn State. I think I
I
might go
know
West
you.
Virginia.
Yeah, I think West Virginia gonna be. Go ahead, Coach Dre.
I got with West Virginia for the upset.
I'm taking Penn State.
Penn State.
I would say Penn State, but I'm down for upset.
Okay, all right. South Dakota versus Oklahoma.
Is that
Oklahoma
South
State.
Dakota State versus Oklahoma State?
Yeah, South Dakota State versus Oklahoma State. You right?
I think this game might get a little scary for Oklahoma State for a minute, but in the end, they're able to get the job done.
Yep, I agree. South Dakota State is actually ranked above North Dakota State in the FCS polls. They're a very good football team. I still don't believe in Alan Bowman at quarterback for Oklahoma State, but I think eventually they'll pull it out in the end.
I got Oklahoma State in a close one. I got them winning by 3.
As much as I want to see this upset, I'm gonna take Oklahoma State by touchdown.
I'm gonna do Oklahoma State running back 250 yards. They rolling.
Wow.
I would say that Oklahoma State probably a close one, but again, I'm down for upset.
I got South Dakota winning by 7 on this one. But anyway,
Don't bet BWatts. Don't lose
I'm
your
just
money.
saying,
Don't
man.
do it.
I got an upset coming now. But all right. Colorado State versus Texas.
What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Yeah. I gotta put you to that 5, boy. Coach Prime. I know you watching, Coach Prime. I'm finna see what he gonna say for you, big dog.
Texas by so much.
That's no way.
I'm a horns down guy, but out of all the weekends, I'm going to be big, horns up for the Longhorns. I hope they win by 150.
Like that. Go, Drake.
Yeah, I'm gonna be realistic. I got Texas by 40 though, for real. I got Texas by 40.
I got Aaron Butler scoring for touchdown for Texas. So Texas.
Texas rolling.
I hope Texas goose egg them.
Yeah, I hope they beat the shit out of them. I'm gonna say it like that. Hey, yeah, I'm just gonna say it so y'all can get in trouble. I hope they beat the shit out of them. I'm telling you, Coach Brian gonna try to beat it. But all right, check this out. I got 2 more games. All right, Notre Dame and Texas A&M.
Oh man, I think Notre Dame. Even though I don't like Notre Dame, I think they're actually pretty darn good this year.
Yeah, I think the Irish are going to be really good this year, maybe even better than last year. I like that Texas A&M finally changed it up and, trying to actually get it going. But, we'll see. We've heard that the last 10, 15 years.
Coach Ray.
Yeah, I got Notre Dame. I got Notre Dame by about 14. I just don't think Texas. This is first year. It's gonna take a while, and then again, like I always told y'all, them boosters run the program down there. So I just got Notre Dame.
Okay.
I'm taking Notre Dame. I mean, they got majority of their team coming back from last season, so they just got more chemistry, more camaraderie together. I'm taking Notre Dame.
This is my upset. I'm going Texas A&M. That coach can flat out coach.
I'm going to say Notre Dame, but I feel like Texas A&M got something to figure out. Hopefully they figure it out this year.
All right. The game that I'm going to be watching, paying closer to, RK and Jake, Miami versus Florida.
Give me Miami. Give me Miami.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. I think Billy Napier's on thin ice. He's got one of the hottest seats in the country. And I think Miami, they've had athletes for a minute, but I think they're finally going to start to put it together.
He can't go but one way.
Hey man, listen. These boys down here think they gonna win. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say. These boys down here think they gonna win. And so for that, I'm gonna stick with them boys for today. Because both of their coaches are gonna be on the hot seat. I don't care whoever lose, they definitely getting fired. Whoever lose getting fired. So but I got Florida by 3, man.
Hey, coach. Hey, coach, you took it right out. You took it right out of my mouth, man. I was just going to say that whoever loses this game, they out of there. I don't care how you want to slice it as a leader. Whoever loses, that coach goes. So Miami better win because Chris Paul gonna be out of there. That's all I can say, man. With all the money they spent on their roster, you better win. So I'm gonna take Miami.
The U.
I think it's gonna be Miami. I think they got one of the better quarterbacks in the country. A lot of people slept on Cam last year, and they're gonna get to see him this year on the big stage. So,
Right?
Hey,
All right, guys.
for
Hey,
y'all who asking, no, DJ is not starting for Florida this week. He's not starting, so don't ask. No, he's not starting. They're starting the guy from last year.
all right, guys. I gotta wrap this show up, man. We had an hour and 30 minutes. Want to thank RK and Jake for stopping by and hanging out with us, man. Want to thank Life of Football, Colin and Field Dukes for coming to support me on my first pregame show, Colorado versus North Dakota State. And before we go, I got to get each one of y'all prediction of the game. So we're gonna take it around the horn, and then we're gonna end the show.
All right. Well, first of
Okay,
all,
who you got and what's the score?
yeah, this was great, man. Appreciate you guys. Hey, let's you guys got to come out to Colorado. Let's do this thing in person at the DMVR bar. First round's on me.
Gotcha.
But for the game, I haven't thought about a score yet, so I'm just going off the cuff here. But let me say 37-14 Colorado.
I'll go 42-14 CU.
I'm going 42. I'm going 42-7 CU. I think North Dakota State only getting the end zone one time.
I'm gonna see you 35-14. We're gonna score 35 plus.
I'm going 42. I'm gonna take it even farther. I'm gonna go 48. I'm gonna go 48 to 17. See you rolling.
yeah, y'all in my backyard. I was thinking about 48-10, somewhere around there. Get a couple field goals in there.
I'm going 51-6. 51-6. That's gonna be the final score. 51-6. But Ron, you got any last question you want to answer final before we get out of here?
Oh no, I was gonna mention well, Jake and RK. I'll be there Thursday, but talk about y'all tailgate. For those people that don't know, and how they can get into the tailgate that you guys are hosting.
Yeah, for sure. You can find it on our event calendar on the website on ddmvr.com. We got a whole big lot down there just off Arapahoe Road. All-inclusive price. So, your food and drinks are included once you do it. Rob, hit me up if you want to come through. We'll get you taken care of. But yeah, come hang out. It's the best, man. It's a great, of all the amazing things that have happened over the last 18 months or whatever it's been, all the cool people that come through the tailgate that we get to meet, actually interact with, talk about football, have a beer with is my favorite part of the season. So I can't wait to see everyone.
Everybody made a prediction?
Yep.
All right. You got anything else, Rob?
Oh, no, I was gonna say we'll do a pregame show. I'm not gonna say here all the places we're gonna be, but we're gonna do a pregame show on Thursday. I will see RK and Jake in person. So yeah, just look forward to Thursday. Regular show will be back tomorrow. So we'll see y'all this week.
Greg?
We're gonna be doing our thing. We put out a Discord link on the community page. We're gonna do a first little live action during the game, so y'all check that out. And of course, this maybe Sunday. Trying to see Saturday, Sunday, but we're gonna do our day after the game show live.
Jake, got anything you want to say about DNVR?
No, just stay tuned. It's going to be a fun week. We'll have Scott on the show tomorrow with me. We'll have pregame show Wednesday with Unc, and then postgame show Thursday from the facility. But yeah, come out to the tailgate. I mean, buy a ticket. It's all you can eat and drink out there too. So you get to hang out with a bunch of us, and make sure you come hungry and thirsty.
All right. Hey, I want to thank all of y'all for joining me tonight. Appreciate it. It's a good show. I really thank each and one of you for everything that y'all done did for me. Like I said, it's my first season covering Coach Prime in Colorado Buffalo. Just received a text that they was watching. I don't know who was watching, but I know who the text was from. But like I say, appreciate y'all for joining me. And I thank each and one of you from the depth of my heart. Colin, you already know how I feel about you. Excuse me, Phil Dukes, you already know we Georgia boys, and I appreciate y'all for everything y'all do. And for everybody that's in the chat and who watching it live on my channel and Rob channel and Greg channel, we appreciate each one of y'all for supporting us each night. We know y'all can be doing whatever you do, but y'all decided to show up, and we said thank you. And Mr. Steve, see you Tuesday night. I got a new show starting Wednesday with Coach Dre. I'm telling y'all, it's going to be a bang at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Looking forward to that. And on Thursday, I got to switch it because my sponsor already know paid me, Greg, so I ain't going to be able to do your what you call. So I got to do that pregame show on Thursday. But, hey, once again, I appreciate each and one of y'all, and I'm going to let Coach Dre close it out. Appreciate you. Everything y'all done for me. I'm going to thank my sponsors. I got 4 new ones going to start, and I'm going to show them, and I'm going to give them some love on Thursday night. So, appreciate y'all. Love you. Jake, RK, I ain't going to bother you during the season, but I'll check with you. Hope you come back after the season. I know Colorado going to give y'all a lot to talk about. So, I'll be
hit
watching.
me up anytime, man.
Yeah, I know. Appreciate you. But I know how it is, though. But I appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, Jake. Appreciate Coach Dre, Rob, Steven, Greg said it, and once again, Colin and Phil Dukes. It's on you, Coach Dre.
Hey, I appreciate y'all, RK, Jake. Y'all boys know how I feel about y'all. My brother Rob, the man, Uncle Steve, Greg. I appreciate y'all boys. Hey, y'all got a brother through a hard day. This day last y'all lost my brother to a car accident. So make sure y'all check on your people mentally. Make sure you check on your family. Make sure you love on your people while you have a chance. Because you know what I'm saying, you never know. Like I say, I never imagined that I get a phone call this time last year saying my brother got killed. So you boys helped me get through a rough time tonight. So I appreciate that. As I always tell you, man, if I send no ships out, no ships will come in. And if there's no contest, nobody can win. Games can't be won if they haven't been played, and prayers can't be answered if they haven't been prayed. I am your man, Coach Drake. That is my Uncle Steve. That's my brother, Rob the Man. My guy, BWatts. My brothers, RK and Jake. And that man, Greg, said it. Hey, we'll see y'all next Sunday. We out.
Appreciate it, fellas. Appreciate everybody. I really do appreciate each one of y'all for supporting this show. I really do. You're watching Sports Talk with BWatts Entertainment. I'm your host, Bernard Watt.
We said